Welcome to another episode of the Andrew Roman Show. Dude, I am pumped that you are tuning in. I should say dude or dudette. And hey, did you get to listen or watch to the last episode? Honestly, I hope you did. If you haven't, go and watch it. It's a very, very special episode. It's a little kind of tribute that I did for my grandpa, my Opa. And we talked about just the life lessons that I learned from him. You know, that's about discovering new places, meeting new people. Let's see if I remember it. I was discovering new places, meeting new people. Hard work pays off. And the last thing is about being proud of your family name. And if you're not proud of your family name, live in such a way that you can be proud and your kids will be proud. That's just a little glimpse of what we talked about. But obviously, go check it out. Go watch the episode because this is actually going to give a little bit of a background to this episode. So let me tell you a couple other episodes that you can kind of watch in order for you to enjoy and get the most out of today's show as possible. So one of the first episodes that I ever made was called Your Life, Your Responsibility. Check that out. So that's going to be a good context for this. What else? A great interview I had with Pastor Robbie Rebau about leadership, what makes great leaders. Check that one out. Pretty good as well. Because today, I'm going to talk to you about how to lead yourself. Okay, you're like, wait a minute. What in the world does that mean? Okay, what I mean is everything is about, usually when you talk about leadership, is about leading other people, right? And how that looks like. And you should be an example and you should enforce people to lead you. You should just kind of look behind you and you have a following, whatever. All that is a great conversation. We've talked about it in other episodes. But today, really the topic of leading yourself deserves a whole episode in itself. Because y'all got that? Leading yourself, a whole episode in itself. Dude, I'm sorry. So, fun fact. I don't know if this is a fun fact or like a dumb fact about me. Either way, it's an interesting fact, entertaining. Is whenever I accidentally rhyme, my brain like stops. Like, I'm not kidding you. My brain, like, it cannot proceed. Like, it hears a rhyme. So that's why when I said leading yourself deserves a whole episode in itself, like, my brain just froze right there. Like, stop. Appreciate the rhyme. So if I ever do that, please excuse me. It's just kind of how my brain is wired. I'm not a rapper. I'm a rapper wannabe. I don't know if I should say this live, but watch out. T-Ray is maybe my rapper name coming up. Look, I'm probably never, ever going to be a rapper. But anyways, all that to say is if I rhyme and my brain kind of freezes a little bit, it's not because I didn't know what I was going to say. It's because I just have to appreciate the rhyme. So can you just appreciate the rhyme with me? I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And so today we're going to talk about how to lead yourself. I'm going to give you 3 main points, and we're going to get super practical in this because this is one of the areas I'm extremely passionate, and I feel like I've been growing in it very recently. I'm not going to say like I've always like led myself great, and we're going to delve a little bit into what that means exactly. But I really feel, and I'm going to give you some resources that makes me feel this way, that I've been growing in this area, especially lately. So first thing that you kind of have to understand in order to lead yourself is about owning things in your life. So there's a great book by an author called Jocko, Willink, and Lief, Babin, that wrote a book called Extreme Ownership. I barely talked about it in the episode with Pastor Robbie Rebau, but I want to delve a little bit deeper about that. If you haven't read it, read it. It's amazing. Extreme Ownership. It really, I feel like it whooped my butt when it came to the area of leadership. So one of the elements is actually the title of the book, Extreme Ownership. And what this entails is about taking ownership of all the mistakes in your life. Because the moment you take ownership of them is the moment you can actually solve them. Because for some reason right now in our society, we are so good, and maybe it's not just now, but we are so good about blaming everything but us, right? It's the circumstances, it's other people, it's the universe, it's bad luck. Whatever it is never our fault. But because it's never our fault, we never get to have the responsibility of fixing it, right? And I talked about this in the Your Life, Your Responsibility, and we talked about the power of being an individual responsible for your individual life. So check that out for a little bit more on that topic. But today, when it comes to extreme ownership, I want to challenge you to own your responsibilities in your life. What does that look like? That looks like the how hard you work at your job is up to you. It's not up to your training. It's not up to your boss. It's up to you of how excellent the work that you do is. Your health is also up to you. How well you do in school and the grades that you have is also up to you. It's not just blaming the teachers, not blaming. I understand that those are important factors. Don't think I'm disregarding everything in real life situations. Not at all. Like it's super important. But what you have to first realize that it is up to you. How productive you are, how efficient you are, how lazy you are, how much time you waste. That is all up to you. So when I recognized that, when I first read that book, Extreme Ownership, and the whole thing is about owning the things that are going wrong in your life. Because when you own them, it sucks. Can we be honest? It sucks. It sucks admitting that you've done something wrong, or it also sucks owning a problem that's not technically your fault, but it's in your life, it's in your atmosphere. That's what it's all about. So I'm going to give you an example. In my life, when I was thinking about my health, so I said, you know what, I want to exercise a little bit more. And I'm kind of one people who I'm like, I want to exercise every day, wake up at 5 a.m. Am I the only one out there? Hey, if you with me, come on, give me some love, okay? You one of those extreme people that are like, wake up at 5 a.m, especially after I read the Jocko Willink book of Extreme Ownership. Okay, so he's a retired Navy SEAL. Both of those authors are. That's pretty intense. He wakes up at like 5 a.m, even earlier. I follow him on IG. Bro, he makes a post every single morning looking at his watch. And this morning, I think it was like 3:45 a.m. Who the heck is awake at 3:45 a.m.? Apparently Jocko is. And Jocko's freaking nailing it, okay? So it's, hey, great inspiration. I tried one time. I was like, 5 a.m. I tried 6. I was like, I can't. I'm totally asleep. If those who wake up early like 6 or 5:30, I just want to thank you for your contribution to humanity, because you are amazing. You are what's right in this world. As much as I'm jealous of you and you kind of make me feel bad, you are what's right. Keep at it. Keep hustling. So, extreme ownership. You got to own the disciplines in your life. So, that's the first part that you have to understand. You can't blame other people, because the moment you start blaming other things is the less time and the more time you waste in solving problems in your life. So you want to be a healthier people? That was not good grammar. You want to be a healthier person? Then guess what? It's up to you how healthy you're going to be. You want to be better at your job? It's up to you how good you're going to be at your job. You want to be a better follower of Jesus, like me? It's not up to God of how good he makes you a follower of him. It is up to you of how much time you're actually going to spend in his word, at church, learning from him, worshiping him, cultivating that relationship. It is up to you. So that's the first thing I want to challenge you in your life: extreme ownership. The second point you have to understand in leading yourself, because it's very easy to tell other people what to do, but the question is, will you do it, right? Will you actually look at your personal life? If you want to really know how effective you are, efficient, is not by the way that you talk, is what you actually do. So look at your personal life. Do you consider yourself a disciplined person? It's just you and me, man. It's just you and me, okay? Nobody else gonna know. Do you consider yourself a pretty responsible person? Pretty disciplined? Like you think, yeah, I'm a disciplined person. I don't waste that much time. I want to challenge you this. If you think you don't waste that much time, go to your iPhone. I don't know if Android has it, but go to your iPhone and go to screen time. Now you is going to see how disciplined you are. Like Instagram, YouTube, 30 hours. Yeah, exactly. But between you and me, you can be real with me. If you're not a disciplined person, that's okay. Because point number 2 is this: discipline equals freedom. I'm sorry, what? That's like a paradox. That's a juxtaposition. Ooh, y'all see my fanciness? Juxtaposition brings in the revolution that brings transformation. When you take revelation, not only information. Yeah, man, I just took those easy words to rhyme. I went in my T-Ray mode there. So discipline equals freedom. I didn't make this up. Took it from Jocko. He says this all the time because it's super, super important to understand. So think of the person that you want to become in 5-10 years. Okay? Take a minute right now. You're driving, pause this episode, and just be like, okay, who do I want to become? If you're watching this right now, pause the episode. Be like, who do I want to become in 5 years? If you think like, dude, I'm totally cool, I don't need to improve, you're going to get a hard knock reality check by life itself. We always have things to improve on every single time. Nobody's perfect. So think of the person you want to be in 5-10 years, okay? That person, you're never going to become that person in 5-10 years. Like if when 10 years come by, I can be the exact same person than I was 10 years ago, unless I actually work daily in becoming that person. Did you get that? Okay, I hope you got that. Because for some reason, as we talked in this last episode, for some reason we just expect life to just kind of like hand us the opportunities in a silver platter. Like, just wait till you graduate college. Then you will be more mature, more disciplined, and more responsible. And then you graduate college, you're like, nope, that didn't happen. Okay, wait till you get married, because the moment you get married, that's the moment that you're actually going to be responsible enough to create a budget. Anybody? Guess what? It's not going to happen by itself unless you create the discipline. So what do I mean by discipline equals freedom? Because the moment you're disciplined, you actually have the freedom to do the things that you want to do. Because usually what stops you from doing things that you want to do and actually enjoying them is because you have things that you haven't done that you have to do that you don't want to do. Whoa, that was a mouthful. Okay, let's slow it down. Okay, here we go. Discipline equals freedom because you can't really enjoy the things you want to do because in the back of your head, you have all the things that you haven't done that you don't want to do that rob you from the enjoyment of all the things you do want to do. Anybody else feel that way? I feel that way sometimes. So what discipline does, it allows you to, one, be disciplined enough to get things out of the way that you have to do, get things done in order for you to have the freedom to enjoy the things that you want to enjoy. So I'm going to give you an example of how that looks like in my personal life. So in 5-10 years, if I did the same question to myself, I want to be a person that's more disciplined. I'm going to be specific. So I want to be a person who wakes up early, and I've started this now. It's been about 3 weeks now, and that I've been waking up at 7 in the morning. Now, for some people, that's like, dude, you late, man. I'm up 5:30. Early bird gets the worm. Okay, cool deal. Cool for you, bro. But for me, I'm waking up at 7. Why? Because I start work right around 9-ish, at least for now. And work starts at 9. So I have those 2 hours. These are the things that I want to get done. And I'm sharing this. You don't have to live my life. I'm just, because what I want to talk to you is not from a place that I've done it. Like, look at this. I wrote a book called, no, not at all. I'm telling you, like, dude, this is something I'm applying in my own life. I'm 21 years old, trying to become more disciplined, trying to become a better person. So in the future, I can become a better husband. I guess a better husband. I'm not a husband now. So yeah, I can become a better husband. I can become a better son. I can become a better father. And it all starts with what I do today, not with what I wait to do tomorrow. So I really want to encourage you, if you want to become a better person in the future, you have to start now. You have to start now. And one of the greatest things about being a follower of Jesus is that you're not doing it by yourself, right? You have the power of the Holy Spirit with you to actually make it happen and become the person that God has called you to be. So personally, this is how it looks like. I want to become a person who's more disciplined, reading the word and really like focusing on the word, not just kind of reading 5 pages and falling asleep. And you're like, what the heck did I just read? No, I want to read the word. I want to be someone who exercises, because I know that the older I get, the harder it is going to be to exercise. So I want to get in the habit. I want to stay healthy. That's the second thing. And I actually want to have time to pray. Like, I'm being real with you. I want to have more of a habit of prayer, more of a habit of the word, and of exercising, and of just being ready and being disciplined, taking care of myself. So I don't want to start work in my pajamas, right? I work from home. It is very tempting to start work in my pajamas. Hey, if my boss is watching this, I'm admitting it's very tempting to do work in my pajamas. But I don't want to be that person. So I want to be disciplined. So what does that look like? I wake up at 7. I work out for about half an hour. I have a program that helps me with that, but you don't need a program. It does it. I don't use weights. I just work out for half an hour. After that half an hour, it's about 7:45. 7:45. I come up, take a shower. I clean my room. I get a protein shake. And then by 8:20, I'm basically done. I'm showered. I'm ready for work. and I have time to really pray, to read the word. Now that's a perfect morning. It doesn't always go that way. But I started to just create the discipline, because the more discipline I have, then guess what? It's 9 o'clock in the morning and I've worked out already. I don't have to think, oh my gosh, after work, I got to work out or whatever. And I've worked out. I've read my word. I've gotten more focused. I've really surrendered the day to God. So this is how it's done. Like, it doesn't always work out that way, but that's the ideal. So one of the things we have to understand is that discipline is not a bad thing, okay? Jocko Willink, like I said, says discipline equals freedom. Now, you might consider yourself a disciplined person, but one of the things that you have to understand is, okay, how do I say this? You might consider yourself not a disciplined person. You might say, dude, I'm not disciplined, man. Ugh, whatever. One of the reality checks that you have to understand is that you are a disciplined person. I get this all the time. I hear it all the time when I ask people, hey, do you like to read? Dude, I don't like to read, man. No, I don't like to read. What you mean? You scrolling through Instagram, reading the whole thing. Like, you're reading the comments. The question is, you like to read the things that you like to read. Maybe you don't like to read your school books, but you like to read. It's just you got to choose the right thing to read. Well, it's the same thing with discipline. You can't say, like, I'm not a disciplined person. Of course you're a disciplined person. You usually go to bed at the same time. It might be late, but you go to bed right around the same time. You might be disciplined to always watch a Netflix show before you go to bed, to check your phone at the beginning, right after you wake up, or sometime during the day to take a water break. Everyone's disciplined in some way. The question is, will you be disciplined the right way that actually helps you? And you might need to take away things in your life that are not being helpful. So one of the things I'm trying to do is not access social media in my first 2 hours of waking up. If you heard that, that was me almost falling from my chair, because it's hard. It's hard, but I want to just create the habit of not being distracted. I guess even health-wise, it helps if you're not looking at the screen like right after you wake up. I read that somewhere. So that's just a little bit of what I want to encourage you to, of those two things: extreme ownership, discipline equals freedom. And here's the last thing. You have to learn how to self-govern yourself. Okay? It's up to you of what you do every single day. Yeah, circumstances change. Some things suck sometimes. That happen. Yeah, you know, it happens. But one thing that you have to understand is that you can start now. You can start today. So what does that look like? It first looks like by recognizing that you're part of, but you're also separate of your emotions and your feelings. So your emotions of, I just don't feel like doing anything today. I don't know. I'm not gonna do anything. I don't feel like it. That has to stop. Because when are you gonna really feel like it? Once a week? Once every so often? I mean, look. The only time it's like I don't know why I thought about this example. My grandpa one time bought a boat, right? And how many times have you bought something and never to use it again? Right? You bought something, and it's like the greatest days of buying a boat is the time you buy it and the time you sell it. Because a lot of times we put ourselves in commitments only because we feel like it, but we don't have the consistency to keep something up. So what am I trying to say there? Listen up, because we're about to wrap up this episode, and I want to give you this practical advice. You have to start realistic with whatever discipline that you want to start creating in your life. So you want to work out, you want to read a little bit more, read one book every month, one book every 2 months, 3 months. Don't start comparing your disciplines with other people. Like, one of the things I've been trying to do is read a book a month. I kind of did it the first 4 months. I'm a little bit behind right now. And that's totally okay. Because one thing that you have to start is start gradually. Here's a very practical example. Working out 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes a day is better than working out once a week for like 40 minutes or an hour. It's actually better because your body actually works like a little bit like clockwork, right? Your body, the more consistently you do something, the better it actually is for your body. So that's why you have to try to go to bed at the same time, try to wake up at the same time, try to work out at the same time, because that's actually your body's like, okay, this is what we're doing. All right, let's go. Let's do this. That's what you want to try to eat at the same time. So all this helps your body and you start becoming more disciplined. So start realistic. If you want to become a better person, if you want to start leading yourself efficiently and effectively, then you have to remember these 3 things. One is take ownership of the mistakes. Take ownership of the things that are wrong and then you want to change your life. Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming circumstances. The second thing is you have to wipe away the perspective that discipline is something bad. You have to understand that discipline equals freedom. And the last thing is you have to learn how to self-govern yourself, that you are not your emotions, that you are not just your feelings, that you actually have a will and you can decide to start creating habits and start creating the discipline to become the person that you want to be and ultimately the person who God has created you to be. So apply these principles and we'll see you in the next episode. God bless.